Well, hey guys, welcome back to Waters Family Homestead. So, I've been home about an hour. I've already let the chickens out, filled their feeders, all that good stuff. So, I'm gonna go down here. One of the peaches fell off that, fell off that peach tree right there, the one that I told y'all that split in a couple places and hit the ground. So, I picked it up, had a few ants on it, but I'm gonna wash it and peel it and cut it and see what it looks like on the inside. But it's soft, so it was definitely ready. I didn't get home till 11 o'clock last night, so I didn't have time to come out and check anything. I came out, made sure the chickens were okay, and gathered the eggs. And what I've started doing is when I collect my chicken eggs, since I've only got 2 hens, I'm taking a pencil and writing the date I collect them on there and putting them in my egg cartons in the house, saving them so when this 12 that's in the incubator are done, I can pick the freshest 12 eggs that I've got and put them in the incubator and start the process over. So that's what I'm hoping for. But I brought my little basket out here today because when I was out here a couple of days ago, I was showing y'all in the video that there's some, look at that. That's what's happening to my figs. Look at that. Look at that. The birds eat that one before I could get to it. Dadgummit. I always like to at least get the first one. But, ooh, there's one. It ain't quite dark enough. Neither one of them are quite dark enough, but they're soft. When they get soft, y'all, you can pick them. But I'd like them to be a little bit darker. There's a few more down there that's larger and soft, but they're just not quite dark enough. And I know I'm probably gonna come home from work tomorrow. See here, there's another one, and it's soft. They're hard until they get ripe. So I'm probably gonna come home from work tomorrow and go to pick my doggone figs, because that one's not quite dark enough, but it's soft, and so is that one. That one's getting soft, it's not quite there. And there's a few more over here, look at that. Birds done got into that one. Oh my goodness. Hope the birds don't get all my figs this year. But sure enough, I was hoping I could, since I had so many that were getting dark the other day. It's been, I think, 3 days since I made that last video for y'all. But I was hoping I'd be able to get a few of them and pick them. So I brought my little egg basket down here. I mean, that right there is soft. But last year the figs were a much darker color when they were ripe. So I don't want to pick them early. But I don't want the birds to beat me to them either. There's still a few figs on this little tree. Well, let's take a look at the peaches. That one up there looks like it's about ready, y'all. Goodness gracious. All right, I gotta, bear with me for a second. I had to jump to grab the limb. That peach is hard. It's still hard. It's not ready to pick. Oh, this one's got a bruise or a bad spot on it, but it's not soft. And this one has got a rotten spot on it. The daggum bugs are beating me to them, guys. This one, that's a bad spot on it. There's no need to leave it on the tree. Look, the bugs done got into it. If y'all could see that. I'm trying to see. Yeah, there's a better focus. And that soft spot with a hole in it where something bored in. So there's another one on the ground. Oh, and that one up yonder's got a big old soft spot on it. Alright, I'm not trying to do this, y'all. I apologize to the film, to the video, but man, this was going to be the nice peach too. Beautiful color. And look at that. The bugs got into it and rotten it. There's still a green one up there. Nice big green one. This one's got beautiful color to it with no damage yet. That one doesn't have any damage yet. Oh my goodness, man, I was just looking forward to be able to get a peach or two and a few figs. But look here, bugs tore up that peach there. No need to leave it on this tree. That's gonna get cut up. That one's destroyed. Sorry, had something on my arm I was trying to get off, make sure it wasn't a bug. But these peaches are losing a lot of their color. They got damage from the insects. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to harvest any peaches off this thing. Every one I look at's damaged. Bug damage on it. Yep. Well, had very little hope for this anyway, since the tree fell and that storm broke it. Still haven't seen any buds on the apple trees. I don't know if it's early or late or if what. So I doubt I'm gonna get anything off them this year. It's hard for me to film up, guys, when the sky is this light blue with white. It just really makes the picture hard to for me to be able to see anyway. I don't know about y'all, but getting home almost 7 o'clock tonight, 11 o'clock last night, and 8 something the night before that, it is very, very hard for me to film and do any projects at home and film those projects to show y'all what I'm doing on the homestead. It's hard. This time of year, it is terrible. That scuppling vine's wrapping itself around the fence, which is what I want. But it is hard for me with the some days to just, I mean, if we get a week worth of rain, I normally won't even have to work late. But it is hard for someone that does heating, air conditioning, ventilation, refrigeration, HVACR, to do anything at home when you never know what time you're going to get home. See, I didn't cut this a little bit last time I cut. I cut from here, everything else on the property. But inside the chicken run needs cutting again because there's only 2 chickens over here. I need 20 chickens over here to help keep the grass eaten down so I don't have to mow it so often. And y'all know I want 30 hens, plus the turkeys and the roosters and all. So, 35 to 40 total. And the majority of those be in the fruit orchard side. So it's not so hard on that up yonder. Grass might come back. So I would probably put 25 or more in this chicken run. But I told y'all I ordered this thing that takes a staple, a certain kind of staple, and you crimp around 2 pieces of wire, and it bends it, I say a circle, but it bends it and closes it. I didn't do so well on some of them, but most of them it did really well of tying that fence together. And like, this is the 2-foot runs I was telling y'all about. Let me back up. Where I put 2-foot pieces together, I twist some, and I went back with that little stapler earlier and stapled some to hold those 2-foot together, so there's no hole for it. I still got a few more places like here, to do, but I ran out of staplers for what I brought outside. I got, I don't know, 1,200 of those staplers for that thing. I was checking the rain gauge. So when I get time, I'm gonna go around the fence and do that to help make it stronger. And y'all know I put the braces on the post up there to pull the fence back that way so it's not so slack as it was. I'm going to put a brace on this post before I start pulling the fence down to that one. I'll probably put a brace or 2 on that one on each side, because I'm going to round that post and go up that side. And the braces may not stay there permanently, but at least they will be there for the first 2 or 3 months while that post sets up in the ground, and keep it from being pulled over. And of course your fence stretches naturally and all that. But like for here, I wouldn't need a corner post because I'm just running 7 feet to the building. And there's no need to put a support brace on that post. It doesn't shake, y'all. I dug those holes plenty deep enough. But when I do the back side of this front run up here, I'm probably going to need a brace on that front corner post, because that's where the fence is stopping. So I'm pulling to that point and I don't want it to pull back. Now, also, the next post is on the other side of the gate. It'll need a brace for support, because I'm going to pull to that post and wrap around it and come down the back. So that post will end up with 2 braces, one this way and one this way. So when I pull the fence around that and pull down the back, it won't pull that fence post over. And then of course I've got, I think 5 or 6 or 7 more wood posts to put up that will need some bracing. So that's just, it's not really necessary once the posts are all set up, but I still need to pick up some concrete. I need to get all the holes dug, get the posts put in there and concreted, let them set up, and then a dozen extra boards just to add support till that concrete's completely dry and the post is solid and don't have to worry about it moving. But if y'all look in this first chicken pen, that little brown and white one was one of the ones that one of my chickens hatched. And it was the youngest, but it's still a teenager. And then the brown hen in this pen right there, and I'm pretty sure it's a hen. I wasn't positive for a while, and I'm not positive now, but I think it's a hen. I've seen Junior grab her right there, and I don't know if he's trying to mount her or fight her. If he's trying to fight her, it's a he. If he's trying to mount her, it's a hen. This is the way I think. I could be wrong. Might have a funny rooster. I don't know. But either way, that's the last 2 babies right. Let me get my finger in the screen. Right there. That of the 15 that I bought from Tractor Supply. And you see they're really, really good size now. They're almost as big as this last hatched teenager over here. And you see there's a feather pulled out to one side, so you can tell something grabbed at it. But the turkeys are getting ready to go to roost. That's the little hen. She lays an egg almost every day. And then the hen over here with Sue lays an egg almost every day. So I'm not getting 2 every day, but most days I get 2 eggs from the chickens. I'm getting 1 or 2 turkey eggs. So those are the eggs I'm eating, because they're not fertile. So I'm saving all my chicken eggs. I want a dozen of the freshest ones. When I get the incubator empty and start again, I want a dozen eggs to put in that incubator. So that's why I'm dating them to put in there. But those 2 baby chicks from Tractor Supply right there, they have come out of the pen and been in the run a few times when I first started letting them out. But 98% of the time, guys, they don't leave that pen. They will hide under the roof. They'll run into the kennel. They'll get on top like they are now, even though they're not picking. They're not being picked on. They're just playing right now with that other chicken. Either way, even if all 4 of the teenagers turn out to be hens, that's only going to give me 6 hens. And of course, that's a plenty for me to eat and hatch to grow my flock pretty fast. But it's still not enough to meet the demands for the customers that I had. I was telling y'all I got a guy at work that buys them from me for himself. And he also buys them for his daughter that's on some kind of diet where she eats a lot of eggs. She goes through about an 18-pack a week. Sometimes more than that. And he goes through an 18-pack every few weeks, 2 or 3. So he's a pretty good customer for me. And then I've got another lady at work that buys usually an 18-pack and a dozen about once a month from me. And the thing is that lady, I'm not calling names, but that lady's parents, I'm going to get out of Zoom. That lady's parents actually buy eggs from me every other week. They want an 18-pack and a dozen every other week. So 2.5 dozen, you know. And I've got a few other people at work that ask for eggs randomly, but then there's another guy at work that gets usually 2 dozen from me every 3 weeks or so. But guys, with only having 2 hens that are laying eggs, and I'm trying to keep the freshest one to incubate, I don't have the number of eggs I need to sell. But on a good note, hey, I haven't had to buy chicken feed. I will be buying chicken feed tomorrow or either Saturday morning. That's what happens when I get down to where I need feed. And their feeders are full. It'll last them till Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, more than likely, before they're empty. But if I don't get to the feed store tomorrow or Saturday morning to buy feed, I'll be going Monday morning to buy feed, or Monday afternoon to buy feed. And I just never know where I'm going to be. My last 2 days has been spent at a dog food plant where they make the Alpo Prime cuts and several other brands. And that's what I buy. But, you know, it don't smell too bad when you open the bag, but enhance that smell times 100. It's the way the plant smells, and I've spent 2 full days there. Wasn't pleasant. But either way, I appreciate you guys watching the videos. I was hoping, really hoping to get some of those figs before the birds did, but y'all saw the bird beat me to at least one. They could have eaten, because there was more than that were brown the other day. They could have eaten 6 or 8 more and just completely took it, you know. But either way, I got 1 peach in the house I'm going to cut open and see if there's any part of it that I can eat, just to taste it to see how it is. And I don't know. The pear trees have got a ton of growth on them this year. You know, I've pruned this right one several times. But I just don't see any baby pears on there yet. So I don't know. I might not get any. And if I don't, them trees will probably come down for next year, because both of them have fire blight. The one on the right is the worst, but the left one also has it. And I'm just tired of fighting it. I'll cut those trees down and replant. And the apple trees can be cut down, because I've had that apple tree for at least 8 years, maybe 9, maybe even 10. Because I've been on this property for 12.5 years since I bought it. Well, since I built the house. I moved in on Halloween night 12.5 years ago. So I planted these fruit trees 2 or 3 years after I built the house. So never gotten an apple. I think I'm wasting time, but look at this apple tree here. It has grown a lot this year, but it's got something's eaten some of the leaves, and the leaves that have been eaten have turned yellow. I don't know, but it doesn't make sense to me to have apple trees. I've got these 2 here. One more in the back corner over there is an apple tree. And then I've got 2 more apple trees over on that side of the property. So that's 5 apple trees. And I've had, at one time, there was 4 in this row. So 2 of them up here didn't make it. I hit one with the lawnmower and killed it. That's my fault. The other one just didn't survive. So I got 5 apple trees up. I've had the most of them for 8 or 9 years. And I've never gotten an apple. So why am I spending all this space and time trying to, you know, nurse the apple trees to help this one right up here? Let me zoom in. That one right, let me move my hand, right there on the other side of the pole. That's one of the original ones we planted, and it looked like it was dying, so we dug it up and I repotted it, and it came back. So it got back pretty healthy. It was, you know, green, all that. I replanted it and it acted like it died. So we dug it up, put it back in a pot. I've done that 3 times, guys. That's its 4th home on this property. And it is living in that spot. It just doesn't have a lot of growth. That tree's at least 6 or 7 years old. And it's only 3 feet tall. I don't know. And then the newest apple tree is further up, and y'all can't see it from here, but let me zoom in. Way up there in the very center of your screen, right there, is another apple tree. That's the newest apple tree I have. And it had an apple on it the first year that I planted it. Just a few months later, the apple rotted and fell off. I never even got it. So technically, I've never received an apple from any of these trees. Why am I planting them? Why am I trying to get them to live? It's too hot in South Georgia. I don't get enough frost hours. But that tree to the right of that apple tree, whoop, move my finger, right there, y'all see it? That's a mulberry tree. Mulberry tree, I've said it 100 times, is one of my favorite trees ever. They get huge, and they don't produce an awesome crop of mulberries every year, but when they do produce, man, you will never eat them all, I promise you. But I planted 2. Those trees cost me $39 a piece. Planted one back here, one up there. A little 4-point buck come in, had him on camera, rubbing his horns on this one. Let me zoom out. That I planted out here. Broke it, and then came back a week later and done it again and broke it. Killed that apple tree. Broke all the limbs off of it, rubbing his little horns on it. That one has been ran over by visitors out here 2 or 3 times, and they keep breaking the limbs off of it when they run over it and stun it. Guys, I got a tomato wire cage around it, and the last time the guys from church, from range, training, came, I'm cutting grass. I'm like, where'd the tomato cage go? The tree looks like it's leaning. Somebody ran over it. I found a tomato cage 30 feet away, all bent up where they ran over it. I asked one thing. First of all, I cut before they come so it's easy to see. But secondly, guys, watch for my fruit trees up there. You come on back and park where you want to. People just don't care about other people's stuff. I have no problem with them coming using my range. But I do have a problem when they're running over a $40 doggone tree that I've been nursing for 5 years trying to get to grow. So, I don't know. I declined security duty this week for church. I told them I may not be there, and I don't know what all I'm going to be doing this weekend. I do plan on working on my truck if I can, and I want to work on this fence if I can. I don't know. With all the hours and crap I'm putting in at work, usually one of my 2 days off is just spent lounging around the house trying to rest my body. To recuperate from the doggone week. But I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of news that most people have not been told. About a year ago, maybe a little over a year, but about a year ago, there's a local company in town that is, the guy that owns it's a really good guy. Business has been there for 40, 50 years. Was looking for some help. And my brother actually told me about it. Y'all know I work for my brother. He actually told me about it. Said, you need to go up there and talk to him. That's a good job for you. You could do that job hands down. It's not grocery business, but it's inventory control and ordering and taking care of customers and that kind of stuff. And it is some in the air conditioning, some in the warehouse type deal. Something that I could do very well. Take some off the owner so he's getting a little bit older so he could enjoy more time. And that's what he's asking me to do. And last year we talked 2 or 3 times. And I told him what I needed per hour, and he was kind of hesitant on it. He's like, that's kind of maxing out what I'm willing to pay. And I'm like, I understand that, but I'm being honest with the guy. Look, a bird's in my doggone fig tree right now. Those red birds. But I'm like, I understand that, but this is the bills I have. This is how much I need to make. And if I'm driving my personal truck back and forth to work every week, last time I did that, I was spending $70 a week in gas. So I have to, accommodate for an extra $240 a month in gas, plus wear and tear on my truck. So, I've got to make enough to pay my bills, buy groceries, and, profit from working. That's the whole point of working. Well, we actually discussed it, and he agreed to the price that I was asking a year ago. Guys, I have very few bills. I don't care if people know my stuff. I just don't care. But I have very few bills. My total bills, if you include $240 a month for gas, if I was driving back and forth to work, and include groceries, way more than I spend now. It's like $1,000 a month. That's why I have a little extra spending money. I work a lot, I make good, but it's just what it is. This guy, last year, like I say, we negotiated on how much I wanted per hour. He finally agreed to it. And then he had somebody make him an offer on buying his business. And he said, Michael, I'm going to hold off on hiring you because I've got an offer on the business. It's not quite where I want it to be, but if they offer me what I want, I'm going to sell and retire. I can't blame the man for that. He's a really good guy, and he's worked a long, long time building this business up to get to that point. Well, the deal never went through. So now he's interested in hiring me. And we spoke for a few minutes today because I had to go by there for something, and I'm sure we will be talking again pretty soon. At least I hope. He asked me if I was still interested, and my words were, I'm very interested. One, it's a lot less physical work than I do on a daily basis now. It's not driving. I'm not having to leave town. I hate leaving town. I'm not a traveling person. If I leave anywhere, it's to go camping or fishing. But I haven't done that in over 2 years. So I'm letting y'all know first. I may be changing jobs pretty soon. I hope he's serious and ready to go, and we can agree on the price, and I may be changing careers. Don't know. Something a lot easier on me physically and mentally probably. But anyway, guys, it's a longer video than normal. I haven't made very many videos lately because of the work hours that I'm putting in. And I've told y'all before, everybody knows, I've asked my brother when he was running the company. He doesn't run it anymore. His wife does. I've asked him multiple times to let me go down to 3 or 4 days a week. I want 3, but I understand he's always short-handed. Everybody is. I said, I'll work 4. Give me a 3-day weekend. Or 1 day during the week and 2 on the weekend. I'm fine with that. But their answer's always been the same. We can't afford to do that, Michael. We don't have enough help. Okay. Well, people seem to forget that I don't care who you are and what your bills are. You work somewhere because you want to work somewhere. I mean, I could make just about as much money going to McDonald's flipping burgers. I'm nowhere near as highest paid employee, not even close. Look at there. They came out. They're playing a little bit. They were running back and forth around the door. But guys, I appreciate you watching the videos. And if you're the praying type, which I hope you are, I'm going to pray about it. See if God will guide me in the right direction to go. Yeah, I would appreciate y'all praying about it, because I don't want to leave my brother hanging, my brother's company hanging. I love my family. I love the people I work with. But it's physically demanding on me. And there are a couple that work with us that I could care less for, and probably won't hardly ever speak to again if I ever leave that company. Everybody has a few of those. But prayers are welcomed and appreciated. I'm going to shut up telling y'all all my business, because I told you I don't hide stuff. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to candle the eggs and see if they've changed. I candled them a couple of days ago, and it looks like 11 of the 12 were fertile. I'm not sure about the 12th one. So I want to go in there and candle them again, because they've only got a week left, and see if there's any movement in there, if it looks like it's growing. If nothing has changed, I'm going to let them finish out the week, but I fully expect those eggs to not hatch. If they hatch, great. But if not, I'm going to get the 12 freshest eggs I have and put in that incubator and try it again. So, hey, prayers wouldn't hurt to help me grow the homestead also. I appreciate that. The Bible says, pray without ceasing. Pray about everything. So I would appreciate all those that you've got. Just take a moment. Just stop. 30 seconds. Pray. And if you're not praying for me, pray for your family. Pray for this country. And let's all get right with God as best we can, and see if he can't help us solve this mess we're in. Because you and I both know, I don't care what your political views are, but you and I both know war's coming. If things don't change rapidly, war is coming. Nobody wants a war, except the ones that are in charge. Y'all be good. Remember what I always tell you. Jesus Christ loves you, and so do I. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.